Okay, let's put on some stuff. Okay. Question is, I should probably deal with this audio issue too. I noticed my lows are very booming. My low end content is very booming. Very booming. So we're gonna fix that. Yeah. Okay. Meow 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 meow. There we go. And go into here. And let's go on to YouTube. YouTube. And put on some bangers. Let's get some bangers in here. Let's get some bangers, and then we're gonna get started on our freaking lighting system. Safari. Safari. What's going on? Press play. Finally, dude. The cozy lighting system. Done. Hey, sorry. Daily screaming session. All good. I don't know why you have to apologize. We gotta do our screams. If we don't do it now, when do we get it in? Look at this. Safari, feast your eyes upon this. There is, aside from the character and the materials and stuff to update, there is 0 Unity lighting components in this right now. Okay, like I said, besides the materials and stuff like this, the terrain, those buildings over there, all this, not using Unity for any of this stuff. Not using the lighting system for them shadows, from them highlights, all this straight from us. Wow, this is beautiful. Tear glove. It's beautiful. It looks like an actual PS1 styled lighting. And we have support for point lights too. I didn't add it here, but let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Let's go into our scene. I like how this is progressively getting more and more more and more like hand rolled. Like custom terrain system, custom lighting pipeline, custom all this stuff. But it's like you want to have good stuff, right? And that's what it kind of takes to do good stuff. Where is this? This guy here. Let's make a new. It's not even good stuff. It's just different, With the old lighting model using Unity's standard surface. Custom level editor, honestly, kind of thinking about it. We kind of did that with the terrain editor. I'm seriously, that's the next thing I'm thinking about, is doing a custom, either adding another layer to our whatchamacallit, adding another layer to our level editor, so that not only can we paint textures, but we can also paint foliage and meshes. A custom runtime binder, custom programming language when, custom CPU architecture when, custom instruction set when. I'm sorry, when is a custom instruction set? It's not real until we have that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that bad boy. I have to make it interact with shadows better. But hey. Yeah, I need to fix shadows. The shadows are overwriting this value. It's not composited with it. We'll deal with that later. But hey, meow meow meow. It's not perfect, but it's something. In fact, there's actually some jank stuff I need to play around with here. because it's actually not compositing it right. Ah, man. More to do. That's okay. Yeah, our little tech demo before worked fine with this. Whatever. I unironically thought about making a custom CPU on a custom ARC for a school project. Makes me ashamed. Why? Why be ashamed of that? That's something to be happy about, to be proud of, to be contented with. Without people doing stuff like that, we don't get cool things. We don't get cool things. We don't get things like SIMD. We don't get things like cool. We don't get RISC architecture. We don't get so many different things. We don't get smartphones. But yeah, dude, I'm super happy with this. It's coming together. It's not perfect. Still some stuff to modify, but it worked in isolation in our demo project, and it's integrating pretty well with our current shaders, and it works well with the whole miasma system. It behaves the same as it should. Hopefully, it's all working together as intended. The only thing that sucks is that I'm kind of relying on physics raycasts, and I don't have a way of getting the mesh. Like, ideally, if you want to do proper shadow casting without having to have a mesh collider on a bunch of things, we would probably want to implement our own you probably want to implement our own BVH tree structure, and then input all these mesh objects directly into there, and then query that instead of using physics raycast to do this raycast for shadow checking. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. Maybe I should actually. Maybe I should actually just do that. Either way, though, for this kind of game, we're not actually needing that much precision, because again, we're trying to emulate old school PS1 graphics, kind of. I want this to feel almost like its own, like a mysterious other console that came out during that PS1 generation. So it has some artifacts of the PS1, but then maybe some artifacts of other different consoles and other interesting quirks. Let me read. The project was a game, so basically I'm going to create a whole CPU architecture for a silly Pong game on a custom CPU that is definitely going to break during school projects. Come on, that's like the time to do it. If you have to hand roll your own CPU architecture, Pong would be the project to do that for. Pong would be the game project you do that for, man. All right, but there's some other things you have to add to this. You also have to add lighting. There's a couple things you need to do today to make this work as we desire it to. So let's make our own to-do list and talk about the things that need to be done in order for this to be in a better spot. Better spot. So, let's first to-dos for today. So first things first, I want to implement fog. So that's gonna be easy to do. Implement fog. Maybe not the first thing we do, but that's something we want to do. So we want to add fog to our light model. That's gonna be pretty simple. The next thing is we want to be able to compute shadow masks, or compute the light, the sun depth mask. You can think about it like a shadow mask almost. Compute shadow mask in editor and load on runtime. So there's I'm designing this with some card constraints in mind. I don't know. I'm debating this implementation, honestly. I'm thinking about it a bit more. It's gonna depend on a couple of things. Right now, the thing I'm contemplating is like, all right, I want to have the level environments be kind of static. So for our purposes, we can just compute the shadows once in editor, and then have that be have it be a high resolution but pre-computed, and have it where you don't do the light calculation. We just load that texture up and we just run with it, and then every light source instead is going to be unlit. Just to add that extra. I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of wish to performance profile this to see what difference it's going to actually create. But I'm just curious about it. But it should have some benefits, because there's no need to recalculate shadow mask. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to happen as a result of this. So we need to make that happen. Right now, it's happening where you press play, it computes it, and then we run with it. And then I'm going to work on my retro engine. Let's go! So that's what we're going to do. We're going to rework this to load shadow data instead of compute it on start. And then maybe we can add options for... honestly, I may try to implement this differently too. Because there's like a cascading shadow way of doing things where you actually just calculate shadows for things in the view frustum. But then you kind of have to continuously recalculate that. Whereas this is just you calculate it once and it's done. But the cost of calculation is probably most definitely significantly higher. So that's one thing. Implement fog, compute shadow mask in editor. And then revise shadow composite, because right now we're not taking into account the shadows casted by the sun are super hard and are overriding any point light stuff, which is odd, but we need to fix that. That needs to be done. That simply needs to be corrected. So we'll do that. Here's our messy mansion. Here's a look at our scuffed light model. And then let's also add more point supports. I did this just as a testing thing, but it can support much more than this. Let's do at least 16. And if we need more, we can up it. It's not going to be that big of an issue. Yeah. Pretty easy. And then this is going to be kind of simple actually, because we already do something like this for the terrain. So there's a terrain painter. And he should have, yep, we have this whole get path thing. So we can literally yoink this and just do the same for our sun. Cozy sunlight. And have like these public methods here. Resources, terrain data. I should honestly just change this to level data because we're gonna have a bunch of data stored here. But whatever, this is fine. Terrain data, resources. Shadow. Oh, I never actually replaced this with file name instead. Oopsie. Should probably do that. Why are we unhappy here? Yeah, file name. It's not system name. File name. There we go. And then we can centralize this here. Get name plus shadow. Or we could pre-append this with shadow. And then here we can do stuff. We can do sun depth map equals so we load this, and then we also set the shadow map, set global where's generate? We don't need to set these values. We only really need to set this to sun depth and map width. Oh, these things might differ actually. Okay, no harm in copying all this, to be honest. So we replace a depth map with this depth map. My bad. And then I mean, ideally all the stuff should be the same dimensions, but who knows? Cool. And now we just need to have the method for saving, which I don't even think I copied over. So let's do that real quick. So we have our load and save. Our text is going to be terrain material get texture. Terrain material get texture. No, we're not doing that. Instead, we're doing depth map. Simple, easy, breezy, cover girl. Cool, and text good depth math. We encode it to PNG. We write all the bytes. Life is good. Life is good. And now we just have to do our custom editor. I mean, we can technically just make buttons, but it's not going to look as good, so we're going to do a custom editor here. I'm gonna put on some music, dude. Some Arthial. No, that's not the guy. Okay, Mega Baz. Where is the joint? Where is the joint I'm looking for? There we go. There we go. Boom boom boop 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 ba doo beep beep. So good. So good. And we're gonna use bash to navigate all our terminal stuff. What are we doing this? CD terrain. No, we're gonna go to. Oh, this is gonna be in CCDK. Lighting. Sun editor. .cs, there we go. Back with a very Canadian coffee. It's very suitable for a very Canadian person, ain't it? Very suitable for a very Canadian person, ain't it? I was thinking about having some coffee. I've been drinking some Lion's Mane coffee as of late. I can't, usually I'm really bad with caffeine. I can't take caffeine usually. For some reason, my body does not react well with caffeine. But these past 2 weeks, for the first time in my life, I'm like taking coffee somewhat periodically. And by periodically, I mean like maybe once or twice. Twice or maybe at most 3 times a week. And I'm like, whoa, this is actually... I think it's having some positive impact. I really don't know. Honestly, it's elevating my heart rate. And that's about it. It's not as bad. And then only have like little moments where my heart kind of has like a hiccup. Only a couple times. I'm like, hey, that's not as bad as the last time I tried coffee. I get why people use it, I think. Cozy Sun editor. I love this. I love when you just have... I hate... because Unity always gives you boilerplate. I love when you can just start raw in an empty buffer. The way it was meant to be. Terrain painter editor. No. It's fantastic. I love it. Love it. Where's our editor? There we go. Cool. And then we have to have this custom type. What is it? Yep. And then what? Public override on inspector GUI. That's the method, right? Yep, that's correct. Thank you. And what do? We just need to do 2 buttons, which is actually 3 buttons really, but button, there's save. Yeah, 3 buttons. There's generate. Or actually, we can make it save, because if you try saving and it's a null texture, then we should just regenerate and that's it. No need to have this other button state that's only applicable in really rare occasions. Not really rare occasions, but very few occasions. If okay, so where's our map? I know we serialized the fields somewhere. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're just gonna make this public. Screw it. If you want to be super safe, you can make it a property with a public get, private set, but yeah. I'm the only guy who's using this, to be honest. I don't foresee a future where everyone's trying to... I don't foresee a future where someone's on r/cozy cabin games complaining about about weird behavior from this class when trying to use this light system for their game. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen. At most, maybe what may happen is I have a Patreon and we give the source code away there, and then maybe one guy 20 years from now might be like, hey, this is weird. And that's it. So yeah, I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm not gonna stress about it. Oh, that's why I had the if statement there. If null, man, this whole unawakes behavior is gonna have to change. We're gonna move this directly into generate shadow map. And this whole keep polling thing, we're not gonna do that. That's just not gonna happen. You know what they say about stress in life, eh? It don't matter if you take enough drug. What? 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 That came out of left field. Like my grandpa always said. It doesn't matter if you take enough drugs. Yeah, I suppose a lot of things don't matter when you take enough drugs. I'm not stressed about it. Yeah, you're right. You're right, you're right. So really the answer here is don't do good programming. Don't do solid, okay, not good programming. Don't do solid programming principles. Just do drugs. It's so simple. It's so simple. Next time my coworkers are stressing about making good design decisions, I'm just like, hey dog, have you considered just doing a little bit of opioids? You ever consider doing a little fent? I feel it's gonna make this whole process go by way smoother. In fact, I shouldn't even have this logic be done here. This should be done in source. Source save map source.load. Yeah, and just have these guys take care of these scenarios where, like, if why do I even have this intermediate? What am I doing? If depth map equals null, we generate shadow map. Don't do solid programming principles. Don't do solid programming principles. Do drugs. Drixel, Bixel. That's gonna go into the quote channel, dude. That is going to the quotes channel. Man, solid's dumb. Maybe not dumb. Solid is a concession you make. And even then. Okay, save map, load map. Why the opening my what? Was symbols already decompiled? Jeez. Buddy out here decompiling Trackmania. That's nutty. Pretty nutty, man. You really love Trackmania, man. Good for you. Maybe one day I should decompile a game I like a lot. Maybe one day we'll do that. Not this day though, but one day soon. I think I talked about like decompiling Mega Man X, because apparently that game's pretty difficult to do mods for. Also, I think it's written in assembly only. I feel like it should be written in C or something, but apparently from what I searched online, it's assembly only. Doesn't feel right to me. I don't think that's the case, but save map, load map. Like, it sounds weird to me that by the Super Nintendo era, they're still writing their programs directly in assembly. Like, by that point, C has been around for a fat minute at least. I don't know. Okay, this should just work. Why are we unhappy? Oh, I know why we're unhappy. It's because we didn't do if Unity editor. No, not cozy. Oh, we can make our own directive. That's cool. I mean, I've known we could do that, but seeing cozy editor, if cozy editor come up, I was like, oh, that's nice. And now I kind of want to make my own the Cozy Cabin editor, dude. Let's just do it, dog. Let's just make it happen. Let's make the Cozy Cabin editor happen, dude. Easy. I think that's literally all we need for this. Yeah, I think that's all we need for our custom little I think that's all we need for our directional sun to be computed. Oh, and then we also need to actually I need to also display the normal stuff, don't I? Yeah. Draw default. Oh wait, I'm drawing. Where's it? Draw, default, inspector, yeah. So we can still see all the other options for this lighting. There we go. And then go to here. Hey, now we have our pre-computed lighting. That's Check Smash Pro. That's not a me problem. That's a Unity problem. Honestly, I've always been intrigued by how Gamebox Trackmania's engine works. I've even attempted to rewrite it before, or rewrite parts of it. I'm trying to make a new engine with DirectX and Direct Play, because that's how they did it originally with Nations. Ooh, interesting. I'm interested to see how that works. Yeah, I see you do stuff for your classwork with your own engine. It'll be interesting to see you rework this. It's kind of like, it's almost, I'm not gonna say it's like reverse engineering. It's almost like recreating homology in evolution, where it's like you have two independent species, but you give the same environmental constraints and they end up converging on the same evolutionary traits. It's like the same thing except for engine development, where you just put the same constraints on the engine you're writing from the ground up, and see how see how that likely pushes you guys towards the same kind of solutions. Potentially. And now start time should be pretty quick. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why the shadow is so strong. Oh, because I never set the shadows. That's why. I never passed the shadows in editor mode. The lighting doesn't run in edit mode. That's why. That's the reason. Man, I am pleased as punch. I am pleased as punch with our results here, dude. Wait a second. Yeah, no, we have shadows there. I kind of want to try upping this. Where's our Where's our dimensions? We should be able to set the Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's make this map width even higher. What? 496? 4096. Yep, now you should take a while to load. Ooh, I should actually, okay, no, there's one issue here. Cozy lighting, cozy editor. Where's our sun map save? Yeah, no, we should just regenerate every time. Every time we just make a new, yeah. Where's our generate? Yeah, okay, we do that. We do that. We generate a new depth map. Cool. So yeah, instead of doing this null check, we just straight up recompute every time. Yeah, I'm using Raylib and Kajillion and a Kajillion other libraries, so I'm sure it's sure to work and to run on anything because OpenGL. Right now it's between me and the Windows API. Yep. Yeah, anytime I hear people working with Windows API, it's not great. It's a very unfortunate experience. I don't think anyone is super happy that they get to go. I never hear someone go, "Yay, Windows API! I get to work with Windows API! Yay!" It's never a very happy thing. It's more of a necessary evil type thing. Okay, now we have much more clear shadows now. That's cool. Very nice. Ooh. I forgot. But I can actually modify this asset here. That's a nice thing about exporting this level stuff out. That's not what I was looking for. Creating an MFC window in the console app is undocumented, by the way. Don't ask me how I know this. That's fun. I love that. I love having to work with undocumented behavior. That's my favorite. My absolute favorite. Lighting, directional light. I'm gonna remove or disable this component. So now we just purely see everything that has to do with our light system. Any shadow we see is purely our light system. Yeah, this lighting, this shadow thing is odd to me. Let me look at our light model real quick and look at how we're doing this spotlight calculation. This is point light, by the way, not spot. I keep saying spot, it's actually point light. Luminance, okay. Facing light away, remap dot, yep. I think the issue has to be here in our light pass. World position, albedo. We define our shadow, hard color, that's what's being overwritten there. We set the W component, the alpha component to 1, just be safe. I don't think we need it. Sun depth, we calculate if it's hit. It's hit by sun. And then we lerp between light color and albedo. And for some reason there's a midterm there that it makes it so the edges of the light are like just completely black. That's no good. I wonder if I need to like potentially clamp. Do I need to include my math library here? Did I even write a math clamp 01 function? I feel like I have, I must have. We have our PS1 vertex snap, a round interval, dither, triplanar UV, sine 01, wrap U1. Yeah, I guess we haven't made clamp 01. That's kind of surprising. We have our fast sine approximation. I should probably use that instead of the ones we're currently using. Clamp 01 float value. Though I should probably make overloads for everything else. Actually, we're trying to use it in... No, we're using it for a float. Okay, now this method should exist now. We have to include math. Say jank. Hopefully that doesn't create issues with our... Yup, it does create issues because it's being redefined. Oh my goodness. But it should be fine now. Okay. Clamping does not fix the issue. So this is happening when it's in the sun. The sunlight is good. Wait a second. No, that's our shadow value that we calculated. What are we doing wrong here? Because at the end of the day, we have our light composite color. Oh, maybe our light composite color is... Oh, I see now. the light composite color is dark. No, but then luminance should be... Okay, I think we just need to... Let's just look at what the raw light color is. So we're going to do our fun little debugging thing of just returning purely light color and see what we get. Okay. This is our light color. Okay. Isn't this so cool? And then we have our shadows casted too. It's so cool. It's so cool seeing like the steps of this between the raw light color and then compositing on the cast shadows. That step is so freaking cool. But now I want to see the difference between the light color and see where the mismatch is happening. And I have a hunch it might be as simple as just doing, I don't know, like a magnitude lerp. What are we doing here? No, we're not doing that. X 0 and then is hit by sun and then 1. Cool, and now we can see this. Okay, so the red channel corresponds to the like light from our normal, how to say it, the lighting of just the object by itself. And the blue channel is representing the lighting due to cast shadows. And where do we see the weird stuff happening? Precisely where we've noted them to happen before. So all the places are pure. Like we saw the issue prop up here before. So there's, and this is pure blue, which means only the cast shadow. The cast shadow is 0 here, and no, 1 second. Is hit by sun. Yeah, so that should they should be positive. Okay. Interesting. So the blue is indicating that this is being hit by the sun. Oh, I see what's happening here. This is indicating that it's being hit by the sun, but the normal light color is black, so it's going to black instead of the shadow color. I see now. Okay. So in that case, what I was suspecting of doing might actually solve this issue, which is having oops, you commented out the wrong thing. Which is having our where is this? Magnitude maybe is what we, is there a magnitude? Is there no magnitude operator? There should be HLSL. Let me find this. This has to exist. Like, there's no way Unity has a distance thing and not a magnitude. HLSL Unity magnitude. So they don't have it? That's not a thing that they just have built into it? Like, I know there's a square root operation which is slow, which people don't like, and that's why we don't probably do it, but okay. Sheesh. Okay, how are you gonna go about this then? Oh, even then the magnitude wouldn't have worked well either, so maybe that's fine. Maybe I could take the average. I dot light color. No. Dot x plus y. Yeah, all that divided by 3. I'm just curious as to what this produces. That solves the problem. That actually just straight up solves. It's not perfect. There's like a little thing here, but that's nothing. That's easy. That's fine. Oh, perfect. Easy. Easy. Super easy, dude. Easy clap, dog. Oh, this is sick, man. There should be a shadow casted from this. I don't know why that's not the case. There's like strange shadows. There's shadows from those two things being casted down here. Yeah, I'm not sure why this guy's being used for the shadow calculation, but this isn't. They both have colliders. And then I don't want this to be smooth. I want it to be I wonder if there's a way to feather this where the shadow edges can be blended. I'm just curious about that. If there's a way to have the shadow edges be blended. Also, this should also cast the shadow. What is going on here? Like, that should not be receiving light. Yeah, there's some things that are off here. Like, look at that. Let me play around with this term a little bit. There we go. That seems closer and more accurate. There we go. That seems much better. Yes, there we go. Now we have some accurate shadows.
That's some real accurate shadows now. I said anything about this whole thing here because like I'm condensing this into a Boolean term. So it's either 1 or 0. Where it's a 1 if our current depth is greater than or equal to the closest depth. So 1 if it's bigger, but if it's less than, it's 0. I think what I want to do is have it where it's less. If it's less than it, it actually turns into a decimal until it gets to a certain threshold. So greater than, positive, less than. So we can just do like a division thing. Like, yeah, current depth. Like do something like this maybe. Ew, that's not good. Oh wait, maybe it was divided wrong. Nope. So if current depth is less than closest depth, if it's over, it's gonna be a positive value that's at least greater than 1. Oh, I don't know why that's not working. It feels like it should. Because the math would evaluate to the same, but I guess not. Changes nothing. Your float values. Oh, there is some. Maybe it's just not hard enough. Maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe I have the right idea. Maybe I just have to make the results be a bit more extreme. That's affecting everything. Okay, for now we'll just stick with this, our current solution, because it works adequately for our intentions. And then let me also change this to not be smoothed out, but actually be rough. So let's go to the Cozy Sunlight, save map, get path, file name. Is there like other options we can set here? What are the other overloads that exist? Depth map. No, not that. Filtering point. Let's go to this guy here. Cool. Okay, interesting looking. I think the next thing we work on is our fog. Get the fog rolling. And that's not gonna be that crazy. I think the only thing I really need is like a depth map from the camera perspective, which I feel like Unity should have something for that. And then I need to update more materials like the player's texture. Though this is lit and it shouldn't be. And that's weird. That shouldn't be the case. That's like... In fact, none of this lighting is correct. Yeah, none of the the shadow maps are here actually. Now that I look at this. That's super weird. Phew. Where's our application? Nope. Our train data, resources. For a little backup. What is this formatting? This formatting is wrong. It's a straight up wrong format. Yeah, this is supposed to be our float. 496. And then point no filter. Yeah, that's... Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, and it's gone now too. That's super weird. Where's our sunlight? File name, yeah. On Awake, it should just load that too. That's odd that it's generate shadow maps. New texture 2D. So we calculate all this with our map width. And then we call this from save too, right? So save map, we generate this shadow and then we use a depth map, encode it to PNG, and write all bytes. Unless the PNG format we're coding to is actually breaking things when we try loading it again. Because now instead of, it's not encoding. Oh, that might be it. Oh, that might be it, actually. That might be it. That's the case, then we have to change the format. Oh, I missed the phone call. One second. And we're back. This is really weird because that wasn't an issue before. It's also failing to load the texture. Like I do this and the texture isn't being set. Like we do resource load texture 2D file name. Does file name include the PNG? That's the issue. That's the issue. When we save, or when we get path, we include the .png manually here.
I should really be using path combined, but I'm too lazy for that right now. That's the issue. That's why it's not finding it. So we use get path because get path is used only in saving, right? Yes. So that needs the extension, but the loading doesn't need the extension. That was the issue. That was the issue. And it's still not loading it. That's annoying. Our shadow casting is not being loaded now. Even though it should be, it's not. That's deeply annoying. Because it's clearly having it here. And it works fine in editor, it just on load or on awake it doesn't. We said depth map, width, map, dimensions, yep. Array depth, yep. We're doing all the things right. File write all bytes to get path, yeah. This is such a weird thing because it was working fine before. We were able to press play and have it load the thing. But now it's not. That's super strange. Oh, now we have the cast shadows. No, we don't. No, that's just normal, the normal lighting behavior. That stair should be positioned differently. That should be like, because we can't see it from the side over here. Just, you know, you don't see it. This is incredibly annoying though. Oh dude, I'm like, oh dude. Unless unless this is overriding it. Save map. But that shouldn't cause any issues either. Unless something's bypassing this, but nothing else is. Because only save map is what's being invoked for generating. This is so weird.
The only thing that's changed is that I'm loading it directly from a file instead of keeping it in from editor memory. That's the only thing. Like the only issue is like maybe, 1 second. Read write permissions. What properties exist? Filter mode. There's wrap mode, NISA level, dimensions, height, hide flags, ignore, bitmap. That's not what I'm looking for though. Alpha's transparency, no. You have to go through every single letter of our keyboard just to figure out where is the permission for reading and writing. There's a little bit of a wrap menu. Okay, what properties exist here? Active MIP limit, white text, black texture, red texture. Green. This is all just static stuff. Yep. Start compress. Don't care about compression. These are all methods. Is nope, overread. That's reading the pixels. Readable, nope. We're gonna figure out this lighting thing. Let me try doing this simple thing just to verify that this is the issue. And let's go into our first of all, do this, and then texture to load, dust manager. Yeah, I should put that in the terrain data too. Come on, buddy. Terrain data, resources. Okay, here we go. Let's make this read write. Like, there's no errors being thrown because of that, but I feel that may be the issue here that's being caused by this. Because now I go here, we load. Nope, shadow map still not being loaded. Our cache shadow, okay. Let's just do this. Let's do the brain dead thing and just turn off shadow map, drop shadow, loading. And just let the computed shadows just be where they are. So we're gonna save. It's gonna take a fat minute to calculate. Okay, and then we're gonna have our beautiful shadows, and theoretically, hopefully, I can just enter play mode, and it just works fine. It's just gonna, the shadows are gonna remain where they are supposed to be. You're taking longer. Okay, there we go. Now we have our drop cache shadows, perfect. And now we press play, and we should be happy. Life should be good.
I'm not happy. I'm very. This is what's going on. This is fine before. Why do you hate me? Agnery, yeah, very agnery. I'm being lied to. What is this? Why do I have this here? I don't need this. Get out of here. Yeah, I don't care. Control map preset, I don't care about that either. Terrain data. It was working before, and now every time we enter play mode, our shadow map is just yoinked out of existence. Like, what could possibly be the issue here? Depth map. Do I seriously need to do... That'd be dumb if that's the case. No. That'd be very dumb. That's not gonna be... That should not be the case. Because that should just be passed by reference. It shouldn't have any implications on being copied. Okay. First of all, bye. Second of all, load. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry, dude. I'm gonna freaking cry, man. I'm using RFloat. RFloat. Why are they so angry with me? Ignore PNG gamma, fade out gray, bitmap filtering. Use bitmap, generate bitmap, no. A blank emoji. I don't know what you're trying to send there. Why? It's gonna be something dumb and it's gonna make me very mad. Cause like, why? Why? Why do this? But Unicode implementations suck. Yep, it broke across Stream.io or Restream.io and my overlay. It could not handle it. This is like should be so simple, and yet it's being the opposite. Like we were saving a texture and then loading the texture up. What more needs to be done there? What more needs to be done in this transaction? What more can a man offer? One second, actually. Let's stick with our load. I need to make this work because it's not executing. Our lighting system isn't executing in edit mode. That's another consideration.
So I have to make sure I'm running to see if this works. Oh my freaking goodness. Alright, we're gonna do a cool gamer move. It's called deleting this. Yeah. Deleting this texture. Going to sun. Save. It's gonna chug real quick to compute these shadows. And then once it's done, we're gonna do load. Or it should just do load automatically. There we go. Now we have our drop shadows. And now this texture is the one allocated from memory. So we can see how the shadows work. Odd. Hey, now we have this. Cool. This is nice. Kind of jank in some places, like here. That's kind of jank. Oh, this computer because of the bounding box of the player. No, that shouldn't impact things. Oh, whatever. But now if I do load, this stuff is gonna get broken now. So it looks fine and works cool. But now we're gonna do load. And it's all gone! It's gone! For the first test of my new engine, I'm going to load an AK texture. Beautiful, splendid, delicious, scrum-diddly-umptious. Okay, this is interesting though. It's saying there's no texture loaded. So it's failing to load a texture. I'm tired of Pokemon. I've been watching Moomin. There's a YouTube channel that's just streaming Moomin. TCDK. No. Train data, resources, shadow mask. You exist. You actually just straight up exist. So I don't know why you're not being found. The same name and everything. What is going on, man? Oh crap. I pressed save by accident. That's gonna take forever. It's gonna take forever to do the thing. My goodness. Well, while that crunches away, the depth buffer, that's what I'm looking for. And then computing the screen position, okay. And then where are they getting the depth buffer from? Depth buffer, where are you? Sample depth texture. Cool, so convert to screen space and then use that. That's not crazy. And then we can do our fog shading from there. What just, okay, we computed, that's why. See, every time we save though, what's generated is something with the wrong values. Like the wrong texture, everything. Wrong size, wrong, like what the frick, man? What is going on? Like it makes no sense, this initializer. Or like we're creating this texture, new texture 2D depth map. We're setting the information that's needed for height and width. And then we're saving it. Create uninitialize. True and false. Is there no overloads that just tell you the... Oh no, that's weird because we're setting the format here. It's texture format R float. That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing. No, I also hate DirectX. Beautiful. Beautiful. Glad 8K worked. Sorry you're doing this with DirectX. There's a cool talk Casey Moratori gave about like the fundamental laws of programming, and he talked about the Conway's law, and he talked about how he used DirectX as the example for how Conway's law manifests. It's pretty interesting. What is going on here? We're setting it to a new texture. Sure. But we're changing the reference of it. And then we're setting that reference to the global shader, right? Unless the global texture doesn't like swapping. That'd make no sense though. Because it wouldn't work on generate shadow map. Are we just not setting it? No, sun depth map, yep. It's being set on load. 2D file name. And it's finding the correct file because we're getting the correct thing, but I don't understand what's happening here. Like, do we need to make a copy? Is that what's needed here? Like, that'd be dumb. There's got to be a utility for copying textures. Copy texture 2D. Are they gonna make me have to implement that myself? There has to be like a whole memory block thing. Graphics copy texture. No. There we go. That would be stupid. If this works, I'm gonna be actually mad that you have to do that. That's gonna make me so angry, actually, because that's ridiculous. Also, why is this? Why is it always wrong? It's R float. 0.0 filter. Jeez, man. Thank you. And yes, we'll allow rewriting. Now, could you please do the thing? Here we go. And then go into the light sources and then load. Identical source and dude, what? Go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy, dude. I'm actually gonna go crazy. I'm actually gonna go crazy. I'm actually gonna go a little crazy. Programming's relaxing, right, guys? Very calming, very relaxing. It's relaxing when things that should work as intended. Then you're in a flow. Oh, that's super cool. That is so cool. I love this. Yeah, a blank texture. Yep. Exactly what the doctor wanted. Exactly what I wanted for Christmas. Okay, maybe instead of... Because I'm making a new texture here in case... The reason I'm making a new texture in Generate Shadow Map is in case we change the resolution. We want to be able to adapt for that. That's the rationale. Here, though, linear false. I'm just not gonna do any of this stuff. Why are you mad at me? This was a reasonable parameter before of just passing this in. Do I have to actually specify the MIP chain? That's stupid. Okay. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. I like this stuff, right? I enjoy this. I live for this, right? Let's try saving again. Screw it, and then I'm gonna try loading. Yeah, I have a watch that plays that periodically. It's great. It's pretty D1. Pretty Division 1. Come on, buddy. Okay. Now we load you. Despair. Despair beyond belief. Despair. This is such a simple thing. And yet, it eludes me. Like, we did the hard part. This is supposed to be the easy part. That's what's killing me, is that this is supposed to be the easy part. Editor, yeah, you're not doing anything weird here. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to. So this is an issue here. Copy texture. Copy texture. Terrain map. Brother. Okay. Let's try this again. If not, we're gonna switch to the fogs just so I can give this a break. And hopefully come back to it when I'm more calmed, more relaxed, more chilled, man. There's something dumb happening with memory texture management that I'm just not comprehending. Okay, cool. Okay, what if we do something else? What if we do this? Like we drag and drop it. Instead of trying to be easy and load it directly from here, what if we just do this? Or we just assume the depth map is correct. Really, even with this being directly loaded, it's not gonna even.
This is crazy, man. Like, we see the global shader works fine. What is even happening? Is it not even getting the shadow mask? Like, it's clearly there. It's being set into as a shader. In fact, let's open our frame debugger. Where's our frame debugger? Rendering. Nope. Analysis. Frame debugger. Enable. Cool. And let's look at a mesh here. Drawing. Rendering opaque geometry. And what do we have here? Our global should be somewhere here. We have our matrix here. Where's a mesh? Like a terrain mesh. Okay, this is terrain mesh. This should have the global shader. Dust text, control map, dust text. It does have the sun depth map. It actually has the correct thing. So it's correct, it's in there. It's the correct dimensions, it's the correct file format, everything. So the texture is receiving it. So then what's going wrong here then? The shader has it. Let's confirm that. Let's see if I'm being lied to. And just output the islit data. Where's our... Everything is being hit by the sundog. Okay, what do we export? Current depth. It's all... Really? All white. That's current depth. All white. What about closest? Okay, maybe it's an issue with float. Just be safe about this. Pure freaking red. What is going on? But if I do save, watch what's gonna happen. Okay, I think the issue isn't in the texture management. I think it's an issue in encoding into a PNG. I think that's what's actually happening here. Encoding this into a PNG and then reading from the PNG is returning like
Never mind. Well, 1 second. This is current depth. Closest depth. Really? Closest depth is also doing this? I think it might be a PNG encoding issue. I think the format we're using doesn't work well for encoding to PNG. I think that's what's actually happening here. The PNG step is what's screwing us. It's not actually the texture management. So what do we do instead? We use and encode into a format that actually works. We know works well for PNGs. So we'll use, instead of our float, we'll use RGBA32. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I think this is just what we have to do. RGBA 32. And we're just gonna lose precision. Or we find a way to custom. Yeah, that's no good. We have some. My contacts are being weird. What? What? I don't like these Discord notifications. Yeah, PNG I don't care about actually. Save our file. R32. No, I don't care about. I need this specific format. Yeah, I think we have to just make our own. I think we literally are gonna have to just make our own encoding. Decode functions for this in CJink. But get pixels doesn't work on R float. Quadruple the size I need switching to RGBA float. Encode and decode functions like this in Seaching files. Encode RGB float. Oh, this is a pain. Okay. We're so close and yet so far. So close and yet so far. Because Unity's saving and loading R floats aren't as straightforward as you want it to be. How do I want to go about this? I think what we're gonna do, I don't even understand what we're doing either, because we have this texture, we're saying it's format as our float before. And it was working fine. Can we do set color? We're just using that. So I guess we can. What are we gonna do here? Well, first of all, when we save, we're not gonna use this encoding PNG. Because I feel like we're losing something when we do that encoding. Exists already. Stream binary writer. Open. Writer. And then oh, because get pixels isn't gonna be the correct data stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh my freaking goodness. Okay, I think let's try this. I have to do another texture traversal. This is painful on many fronts. What is going on here? I know what I'm doing. What is what? Where's the extra bracket coming from? Dude, what is going on? I'm so confused right now. Oh, we're missing a parenthesis there. pixel. Open. And this can be a binary reader now instead. You also actually do need to create a new texture here. Oh, this is so weird, dude. This whole thing is so goofy. Read float. Oh, I forgot. It's not float, it's single. Because of course we can't just keep things simple, right? We always have to use dumb, weird names for all this stuff. A get pixel, or set pixel X, Y, and then yeah. No, we don't do this. We just do a new color. Dot red times value. And then that's the texture we use. That's so freaking jank, man. This whole thing is so freaking jank. It's so freaking weird, man. At some point, I should probably write this into yay, it worked. It saved. And now we should just be able to load. Loading takes a while too. This freaking sucks. But load actually works. That's the issue here, is that load actually worked. That's the problem here, is that because the expensive part is the texture conversion, the texture building. Like, what's the point of... I guess it's marginally faster because it's not raycasting, but it's still bad. It's still bad that we have to wait for this to do its thing before we can... Like, if we go to main menu and then we go back to... Yeah, it's gonna take a while because it's loading. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Oh, there's an issue there. Repeated clicks is gonna invoke it. I need to make it ignore that. Oh, the whole map is just covered in... That's not right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna chalk that up to just overloaded request. Yeah, and all that load is just coming from the shadow map, dude, which the whole point was that we pre-compute this so we don't have to do any of this crap. But now... This makes me angry. Because R32 floats. So I have to, okay. If you want to do this right, where we can keep it in a texture format, we have to smush this R float into... It's dumb though. Or we can use a normal... No. I was gonna say we can pack a single pixel, a single RGB pixel, so that it contains like 4. But no, that doesn't work. That's not gonna work for our purpose. That's still not gonna work. Because then we can't just do normal UV indexing into it. Or not indexing, but UV sampling into there. So we're still kind of where we started. It's cool that it works. But it's still pretty bad. Pretty freaking bad. Okay. Shadows. Let's do shadows. That is ridiculous, though. Can we make our own? Like, can we do? Like, have our format. This sucks. This actually sucks, dude. Okay, let's just do our shadow stuff. That's hopefully more straightforward. Or fog stuff. Where's our lighting? Here we go. Consider fog color and fog distance. That's cool. I think here we even set this stuff, right? Yeah, we do. So we can actually quite literally just add it to our little lighting model. Our lit color, and then float, return, lerp, camera depth, is going to be equal shadow texture, no, depth texture, no, sample depth texture. And then what does this method take? Sample depth texture, depth texture. Wait a second. Where's room depth texture? Where does that come from? What? More things to calculate. How very sad. Screen position XY. At least we know that works. He's doing what? I just need screen position in all honesty. Screen position. Is that app data thing or is it V? That's a V2F thing. Yeah. Light color, world position, world normal. You can be text chord 6. Though we're running out of text chords, dude. Pretty quickly. Screen position, and then screen position is gonna be what? Within our CC Light model, vertex, vertex,
Honestly, we can even do something simpler than trying to sample the depth buffer directly. Like, you could just pass in a matrix. Yeah, you can literally pass in a matrix to the camera and then get just the Z position and then use that to determine, like, lerp your yeah, that might be actually even easier, because then we don't have to modify all these.
you don't have to modify this guy.
It's not gonna be perfect. But for our purposes, I think it should be good enough. Yeah, let's do that.
V2F. Yeah, we don't need that. All we need to do is add another matrix. Float 4, X4, camera, world to local matrix. And then you can do this here, or in update, just do shader set global matrix camera world to local transform world to local matrix, and then and then now we can go into our light model down here. Don't need to do this anymore. And instead, we can return lerp. So many lerps. Lerp's so powerful, man. Lerp, shadow. What do you want to do? Lerp between fog color and lit color. Float fog cam distance equals multiply camera local by that world position, and then we just get the Z value, and then we're going to do our camera distance divided by our fog distance. And then a distance of like 1,000 or 100 or 700 or something. Let's see. Oh my goodness. What is that? What is this? What is this? This looks cool, but this is not right. This is so wrong. What is this? Keep it in. Bizarro world. What is this? I think I need to clamp this. That's what's happening. That's amazing, dude. I see it's a clamp issue. Yeah, I think it was a clamp issue. Still not sure why this is. Wait, let me see how this looks. Because it's using the camera for this. Oh, 1 second. Where's the camera? Where's the player camera? Camera.
Where's the camera actually? It should be like independent. Audio check, checkpoint, player, main camera. There we go. Yes, Z depth is correct. The Z depth is what exactly what you're supposed to be using. Yeah, you see like everything just being. Oh, that's funny. And this is being an update. Yeah, thank you. That's so goofy, man. Yeah, that's a strong fog. I'll tell you that much. Okay, that's behaving more like fog. Though we're losing the base color. Now it's just like white. Now it's just like this white color. It's so funny. You see the fog change in the editor too. This is so cool. But also, what the heck, man? What the heck is this? Why are we losing our lit color? Oh, because I broke it down to a float, not a float 4. Okay, there we go. There's our fog. Our musty, crusty fog looking. That's hilarious. That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious, dude. Oh, man. Oh, man. I was like... That was such a weird thing, man. We just stumbled into this missing no world. This creepy pasta land. Oh. Why are you... This is like Silent Hill looking now. There we go. So it's 0.01. Okay. That's so funny, man. Oh, do we have our cache shadows actually working? Oh, they are working. Hey! Maybe just leave it like this. Not even load it from a file, but just... This looks good, man. Dude. Hand rolling our own lighting system is actually... It's starting to feel like it was worth it. I mean, I know you can achieve this in Unity too. For the most part, but... Hey, man. It's gonna at least be more performant, I think. And at least we got rid of that standard Unity surface shader look. That was like everything, on everything, everywhere. I can't get over how sick this is, man. This is so cool to me. This is so cool. We have our own like fog of war looking thing. Let me take a screenshot of this. Ah, dang it. Of course, you move around exactly when I don't want you to. I'm gonna send this to someone. Hell yeah. What's up, Everadic? You came at a very auspicious time to witness our custom lighting system at work. You see how cool this looks? The shadows, the lights and everything. Zero Unity components. Zero Unity. We're not using Unity's lighting system at all. We've written our own one from the ground up. From scratch. To get not only, in some cases, way more accurate like N64 lighting effects, but also just to get something that looks different. That doesn't look like just, hey, this is the Unity shader, right? No. This is the Cozy Cabin shader. The Cozy Cabin Express shader. Complete with fog and pre-computed shadows. Meow. It looks so cool, man. I'm so happy. Now you got something to brag about. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm gonna. I mean, how many people are gonna notice it? Not sure. How many people are gonna care? Probably not very many, right? But I know. I care. I can say that. We have our own not rendering, but our own lighting pipeline. Now we just have to make the character sprite be hooked into it. Because right now, since we got rid of Unity's lighting system, the character is the only thing that's like one of the few things that still uses it, but yeah, you see like clearly the things are not hooked up into it because those leaves aren't receiving the lighting. About Unity, but I do feel like shading color seems more artful than usual. Yeah, so we can even compare, right? Our lighting compared to how it was before. Let me see if I can find. Let's go on YouTube real quick. I need to still record. I need to record stuff for Screenshot Saturday. I've been slacking. Content. Where's the live stream? There we go. Not this one, but yes, not yesterday, but the day before. Let me find. Because I know at some point I did some gameplay of the game just to show off how it looked then. Yeah. Here we go. So here's our old Unity's built-in lighting system. So it's kind of, you have some gloss on the surfaces of materials. Yeah, it's very. There's like a couple things behind this, right? So Unity Standard Surface Shader has a bunch of things that are added on top of it, like global reflections, illumination, and all that stuff. Usually features that you'd actually consider to be a benefit if you're making like more games that are trying to be a little bit more realistic. But for our purposes, it actually looks kind of weird that you have this old style looking thing, but it's having all this other information be computed and add on to the surface, which is not what we wanted. And then on top of that, the shadows are very accurate. They're per pixel shadows. But if you look at N64 games, they don't really have that. So in our rendering pipeline, we've implemented vertex shading versus lighting versus pixel lighting. So vertex lighting versus per pixel lighting. So you'll notice here that you have Could we please open a new image? So on the left you have per pixel lighting. It's very smooth, which is cool, right? Usually in most modern applications you'd want to have per pixel lighting. But if you look at N64 games like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, whatever, they didn't have that bandwidth to calculate per pixel. So instead they did per vertex, where this vertex here would calculate a light whether or not it's lit or not. This one would calculate that. And then all the pixels in between are just interpolated between those two color values. So you end up with lighting that seems a little bit more blocky and chunky and very distinct for that era of games. And you can kind of see it here in the current version. Shane looks black on multiply, blend, and 80% opacity. Huh. Black on multiply and blend. Okay, yeah. I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, ours is a bit more chunky. So you see, like here, for example, the vertex lighting happening, and actually in perfect. This is like a great example of it, where you see these vertices are lit, but this one's actually more in the shadow, and then all these pixels are interpolated. So for more modern games, this would be like kind of unacceptable. It'd be like very inaccurate. But this is an artifact you saw all the time in those games of that era. And of course, we added our own fog as well. We did our own linear fog. Yeah, so it's very different. So now the surfaces don't have all this stuff, and it's cool because it actually opens up some real estate for us, because we're going to be making this for web and mobile as well. So the less work a GPU has to do to render our game, the better it is. So with our own rendering pipeline, instead of having all this extra stuff that Unity is cramming into this materials to have all this cool effects, we're instead cutting a bunch of it and just keeping exactly what we need to do what we need to do. And then your vertices and your fragments are only, or pixels, you can think about it that way, are only processing and working with exactly what they need to do to get the job done. Less work for your GPU, more lifetime. You can even do simpler calculations. Like this calculation is actually much more simplified than what's done before. Or actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it actually might be a bit more work, but it's... It's... By itself is way less work, but it might be a bit redundant because I think Unity calculates a depth mask no matter what, or depth buffer anyways, but in fact, I'm sure they do. But whatever, it's fine. But yeah, that's like the whole stuff with our rendering pipeline. I think there's a project I have somewhere else that demos a lot more of it. But yeah, works very well for this low poly application. And it gives you more freedom and control over stuff. So if I want to add stuff to the rendering pipeline that everything should be subject to, we can do that. So I think we even had like, we had a bug that we accidentally introduced that made things look crazy. Let me see if I can find it. It was like, I set this value to 1,000 and then we set this to be a float instead of a float 4. And we got crazy gnarly. Let me see if I can find it. Or it was like negative, something like this, where it was just like absolutely blasted the color that we had. One sec. Oh, even this too, like now we can do a bunch of visual effects easily because we're in control of the entire pipeline. So if you want to make things monochromatic, we can just do that. If we want to make crazy, weirder effects, we have the freedom to do that. We are in control. Anyways, let me undo this craziness I was doing and make this 0.1 again, or 0.01. But yeah, it's super cool, man. And it's also like, again, it's interesting on a bunch of different fronts. It's interesting in the art side where we can control how we do lighting and how things are composited together. It's interesting on the technical side about exploring, how do you implement this stuff like cast shadows, for example? How do you implement shadows, right? And then how do you economize this to use as little as it needs? I know, it's very cool, man. It's super, super freaking cool. Yeah, I'm loving the texture generator. Oh, man. I feel like this is a game for a fictional console. Because it has some PS1 stuff, and it also has things that are not PS1 at all. I don't know, man. Super sick. All right. We have our fog working. We have this lighting system tentatively working, I think. Like our cast shadows are behaving like cast shadows. Whoop. Now it's kind of time to start thinking. I kind of want to work on some enemies today. I kind of want to do some pixel art. Because those enemies are cool and everything, but I want to have something a bit more dynamic. And there's also the power-up system that I've been thinking about as well, where now it's going to be more Metroidvania-esque, where you don't start with everything. Like, you have to find the dash, and that'll be the first thing you'll get when you start the game. But then you also have to get other power-ups as you explore the levels. Have more composing to do this. Plenty of composition to do. I have to do enemies, battle music. There's a guy up there. I think you've seen him before, Anton. He has stuff he needs to... I need to compose battle music for that. I actually have to do multiple battle music to make kind of per boss, and then one general one for enemies. And I have to make like a dynamic music system for this to work properly. This is so cool, dude. I can't... I'm so giddy, man. And then the final boss too. She's interesting because she's a ballerina. Whatever. She's a ballerina. So there's a specific ballet that there's a specific piece that I want to either use or draw inspiration from. I think I've showed it before, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, what was it called? What was it called? I already forgot it. Ozipova. Yeah, key tree variations. Yeah, I think I showed the key tree variation stuff. But having a boss where the music is synced, well, a boss who's musically themed because she's a ballerina, and having attack patterns be synced to the music is super cool. So there's this part where they start clapping. So I keep thinking about this thing where it's like every time she does, her foot touches the ground for that specific section, we have like different things come from there. And just play into that bullet hell thing. There's so much different possibilities we can do with this. And then... yeah, because I can't think of any time when there's been a boss battle that's like actually dancing, right? And having the actual battle be tied to that. So I'm thinking about taking this idea, at the very least 2 acts, maybe break into 3 acts, and have different variations of the song where you have it first doing stuff like this, where it just kind of start initiating the idea first, have interlude to it, and then finally have like that big climax like that leads to this. Where you just, when you get to this part, it's just bullets spawning everywhere, man. Yeah. to the beat of the music as well. So yeah, so there's a lot of music to compose for it still. And not only music, but music that has a very important significance to the game. Like, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be one of those weird times where you actually have to start with the music first, and then do the art, and then do the programming from there. Like, we start with the form first, and then we start creating the functionality from that form. It's very weird because usually it's the opposite way. I usually start with programming the thing, maybe do some art, and then we eventually get to allow that to dictate the form. But this is a very particular, specific case that warrants a different process, which is gonna be pretty cool. And we're gonna have to do a lot of rotoscoping, I imagine. A lot of rotoscoping. But I think the way we're doing sprites actually works very well. Because like the character is always going to be billboarding towards the player. So we can have the animations play as intended. And it's going to work fine. Yeah, so much to do, man. And I'm even thinking about doing sub-themes per area. Where we have one theme for this area here and then another theme somewhere else. And then I'm going to change this water as well to be much more... It looks nice and pretty, but this has to be a barrier. The player uses water to clean up their mop, so there could be confusion between the fountains that you're cleaning your water with and this water that's supposed to be a barrier. So I think I might change this to be actually more like a sea. Yeah. So this uses the default Unity surface stuff. And you can see there's all this things going on there. Like there's this shininess that's coming from from the skybox. There's actually reflections are being projected from the skybox onto there. There's material properties like metallicness and glossiness that's being applied to it. In other games, you'd want that kind of thing probably, depending on what you're doing, but you'd want to have those things at your disposal. Our game, we don't want to have that. So let's go here and let's nix this. Or not nix it, let's get this added into our rendering pipeline, I suppose. Which is going to be kind of a big, annoying, tedious thing. In fact, let's not do that. Let's do some art. Let's actually move our NPC into our level. It's kind of funny because we have like this old remnant of where the game... Look at how different our game design is. We started from this very linear place, which is cool and it's fine. But now we're in a fundamentally different place. And it's so much cooler where we're at right now versus where we were back then. There's some ideas I'm probably going to take, and I'm probably going to use some of these assets again, but... Dog, it's night and day, man. Night and day. Where's our character? There she is. No, that's... NPC, please. There she is. Yeah, let's get her back into this literal overworld, a world above that world. Yeah, dude, like it's... Oh, man. This game is sick. Like, at least the idea of the game is sick, and I'm enjoying the process of it. Like, compared to Crimson Crown, Crimson Crown kind of was a struggle for me design-wise, because it wasn't super giving mechanically, right? Whereas with this game, I feel like the more I work on it, the more there's gold to explore. There's more veins of gold that we can mine and get into, and more possibilities. And not possibilities that necessarily push scope. There are possibilities that are within the scope, and they just reinforce the idea that we're exploring here. Let's put her in her town. We have to make art too. We have to do some 3D models. I need to make her cabin. I've been watching a lot of Moomin. Such a warm show. I love it. I love the Moomin series. And I want to see if I can kind of recreate that kind of vibe in this area. I may have to revisit the trees a bit though. I need to find a place to put her.
And then the player, even though he's cool over there, he's actually supposed to start over here. Where's the player? Where's our player at? But yeah, there's so much I want to play around with this. Yeah, there's so much focus in it. See you later. You have a good one, Everadic. Take care, man. You have a good one. Why are we... Wait, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Where's our lighting system? Where's our lighting system? Here is our lighting system. You're supposed to be 0. Alright, and we play. Nice. I need to model some new trees. Cause I almost want it to feel like a grove, like enclosed by a wilderness. Yeah, we have to add indicators, character indicators to show that, hey, you can actually talk to this character. Oh, and we broke stuff too. That's cool. Very happy about that. She's... Okay, no, we're in the same resolution. It's just the character's physically bigger than her. Yeah, okay, cool. A sea of sludge. Be gone. Where's the player? I have to make sure he's facing the right way. I want him facing where he's supposed to be going. And as for the light, which I'm gonna put up here, they're all equally important and should be equally accessible. I'm gonna make this a little bit more saturated. All right, let's see. Yeah, I might have to make the distance a little bit bigger. This is so sick though, man. All right, let's start focusing on, we have to start working on some assets here. I mean, there's a ton of things. We have the mechanic stuff we have to work on. We have to figure out what's gonna be the routes between different places to, like, what are the requirements needed to get to these places. Like, for example, that boss battle up there. So the player's gonna first clean up this field. This is kind of funneling them towards over here, but there's like nothing there, so maybe you want to repaint this a little bit so that they're brought here instead. And some enemies, their first encounters with enemies. Probably have like 1 or 2 here and then have another one down there. And then once you beat them, doop boop, doop boop, boop. We go, they see this area here.
And then we have to answer the question of how do they get up there? Because this doesn't feel, this methodology does not feel super obvious. Like, I know it's possible because I implemented it, but I don't think that's going to be second nature for most people. And then another thing is, okay, they get up here. How do you get up there? Like, maybe you do a platforming challenge where you have to climb, like do precision platforming until you get up there. Maybe that's the move. I don't know. And this also requires you to have the double jump already, which I think at most they're going to start with nothing. We're going to give them the dash very, very early in the beginning so they know that, hey, there's power-ups that exist in this world. Here's how they look like. If you grab it, it changes how you can play, right? But then after that, we got to have like the dash somewhere else and yada, 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 right? And then the bridge across over from here to over there is going to be down there, actually. This is going to be back behind where they were expected to go. And this will take them to this place over here, which is going to be more of a city area. Over there's going to be more coastal. This is going to be more city. That's the idea I have in my mind. Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna take a break, eat some food. Maybe I'll stream in a bit later too, but I just want to take a break here. Hey, you guys are hanging out. Hope you have a good one. We got some fog in the game. Fog in the game. I'll be catching you guys later. This is not a great place to stop. Let's stop over here. I love how glitchy this is, man. All right. Goodbye for realsies now.